speak, Carmen?
Yeah, she's speaking.
Hi. Yes, okay.
Frederic.
So
Sorry.
Saba,
Try to.
I think I'm going to mute Frederic until he can sort out. Okay, Carmen, go on.
hi, Saba, Frederic. FreeRtr right now is compatible with Tofino 2 architecture, or maybe not yet?
The thing is that the Tofino 2 architecture is supported on 8.9 release of the SDE, and right when it appeared, we added the stuff that needed to compile. I tested some profiles, and seemingly it compiled, but nothing further tested. So theoretically it should, but we have not yet tested it. But the good news is that Alex will get soon a Toshiro 2 based chip, and he will start building and report back if the thing I added is enough or not.
Okay. Yes, someone at CERN sent me a message because I think that for LHCb experiment they bought this Tofino 2. They're waiting, but maybe I will have access to a Tofino 2 in a couple of months. So this is why I'm asking.
Sounds good. I think yes, and for the time, I think Alex will be ready with his new builds, and I think then we will have builds for Toshino 2 at least, but it will be still untested. I mean, okay, it's a thing that the emulator starts and passes packets, but it's another thing that if we saw it working on a real hardware. So theoretically speaking, it should, but we haven't seen it yet.
Okay, perfect. Thanks.
And the good news is that on the Toshino 2, they say that we have more stages. It means that you can push more code or even more tables. It's up to you. So it's quite interesting platform.
So, can you hear me now? Yep.
Yes,
Yeah,
we do.
Because I can hear everyone. I had to restart my headset anyway. Hello, Christina.
Wait a bit. I saw in the chat that Edgar had some issues with the hearing thing also.
Oh, that is strange, Edgar. Maybe you have to restart also your headset device, which this is what I have done anyway. So great. So maybe I wasn't here last week, but maybe we can pursue the discussion that started last week. What do you think, Saba? Maybe there was some topic that is worth to pursue during this today.
I don't think that we left anything open. I think we discussed anything, but if you have other opinion, then
we do have a bricked switch, but
you mean a break switch? So what happened? Seriously, so that we can maybe try to explain and help you.
if I remember correctly, what happened is that a pre-installed hook on some packet stopped FreeRtr in the middle of the apt-get install, and it uninstalled FreeRtr, and then it wasn't installed back again because the session failed because it was connected through FreeRtr's routing function. Am I right, Saba?
yes, it is it. Basically, we tried to upgrade from Debian 10 to Debian 11, and we failed.
Jordi was yelling at me. So why did you let Saba upgrade the system without using a screen and such things.
Okay, I see the I see the point. So this is not a big deal because I guess that he can restore the system easily using the BMC access and doing all the the work that actually the ONI bin would do. So that's a good moment to switch to Alex Nick's release, and which should be the RAR official release, and you will benefit from I think the latest greatest SDE as well as Carmen, I think.
Do you know when it will be? Because now Alex tested positive.
Yes, it is a very.
I mean, he's ill.
Hopefully he will pursue his work.
Well, to be honest with you, he was not the only one being positive. So it's not something that is I would say, I hope for super bad for his health, I hope. So anyway. So Luis, what you can do is to use this release, and it should be really soon. And maybe what we can also discuss is that is about the new things, the new features that appeared recently. I think it's based on your input, Luis. And Saba, maybe you can have a quick explanation on the new feature you added thanks to Luis and his colleague feedback.
Yes, for sure. So basically, what arrived is a raw GTP encapsulation to the data planes. It was quite easy because it is a very slim header, and so to have it in the data plane is quite some lines of code. It's not a big deal at all, thanks to the modularization of the data planes. The more interesting part we'll just follow is to add the control plane parts, but at that point I am still waiting for Luis College's replies and so on. We are started some conversations on the chat. The final goal would be to be able to use the RARE stuff within a mobile core.
So basically, I'm not at all familiar with 5G or mobile or 4G or 3G environment, but what you are mentioning is that this means that we can put, for example, DPDK flavor near the antenna, near the 5G antenna, and then this GTP server could aggregate traffic from this antenna based on this encapsulation and redirect it to a burner node gateway into the core.
I think this GTP encapsulation is used a lot of places in the mobile core. So currently I need the profile.
I don't know if is anyone here knowledgeable about the 5G cores and about the mobile phone cores, because I'm trying for Rodrigo to get in the call, but I don't know if he is able to. But in short, as a short explanation, the GTP tunneling is done for is the encapsulation from the RAM, the radio access network, to the core, and then in 5G mobiles, in 5G cores, the function that may encapsulates this traffic and routes it through the data network, or even between different cores, or even between different parallel functions is the UPF. It's called the user plane function. Through the I should have a 5G core schematic somewhere so I can speak properly. Give me a second. I'm going to take a huge poster of the 5G network so I can. Yes. So the UPF is the part that routes the traffic, but the session establishment between the UPF and the RAN is commanded by the SMF function, the mobility function for the 5G core. So it is not as simple as just establishing some tunnels, some GTP tunnels, because those are done dynamically. Those are the SMF as with the PGW on the 5G or the 4G core establishes the tunnels dynamically for each client and for each RAN and even for each data connection network. So it's not a simple tunnel, and the UPF does a few more things than just routing the packets. It's implements some policing and some accounting on the traffic that it's that passes through the UPF. There's an implementation that's called Open UPF or Free UPF. That's a pretty comprehensive description of what parts of the UPF are implemented, and it serves us to see that there's a lot of things that the UPF have to be implemented in order to be a fully functional UPF. It's a pretty complex stuff.
Okay, so if I understand correctly, if this UPF functions appear at FreeRtr level and at the data plane level, which means that we will have something that looks like server UPF and some configuration related to it.
In the long run, yes. In the long run, yes, it will be the final goal. Currently, the control plane part is only ready for the 3G thing. We still have to add the 5G things.
Wow, that would be awesome to have this type of additional server, because I'm pretty sure that this is something that would boost some area or some region.
Yeah, this should be really interesting, because Open FreeRtr is really powerful, and there are not many UPF implementations, and to have a complete router with hardware acceleration, and that also can double as a UPF for a 5G core, that would be pretty awesome. I don't think that anyone has anything similar to this right now. I posted pasted the Open UPF URL on the chat. So in the description, you can see that there is a feature list, and all those functions are the functions that can be implemented by a UPF. And all this communication for the control plane is done via control signal. That it should be that the idea for the 5G core is to be all the signaling should be HTTP2 and REST API. So it shouldn't be really complex, but it's there's a lot of different functions.
Wow, that's pretty much seems like to be a new Pokemon to catch for Xaba. Just to let you know that if you spot the source code, I think that in the utils there is a util folder where we have already HTTP2 implemented and REST or JSON also implemented. Am I right, Saba?
Yes, basically you are right.
So basically the main core component ingredient are almost there to catch this new Pokemon. But the list is quite heavy. I mean, I'm on the UPF Open UPF website, and it's something really. It really seems something from a different world.
Yeah, the mobile cores are pretty something. They're really complex, and the good thing is that the 5G, the real advantage of the 5G over the 4G network is that the 5G is fully open microservices and simplified architecture, because 3G was absolute madness. 2G was insane, and 4G it was a little bit less insane, but 5G looks almost comprehensible.
I see. Anyway, just to let you know that the new matrix feature has been put and updated. This reflects the test case related to GTP. So Luis and your colleague, you can have a look at it. That's pretty great. But, any significant development so far, Xaba, besides from that?
In the past week, nothing, basically nothing. I just did some refactoring on the weekend. I do after refactoring. I like to clean up the code, which I remember that need to be cleaned up and so on. This time the terminals got some things. And now I am already cooking something, but let's talk about a bit later when it's ready.
Okay. One thing that's significant when I look at my personal router these days is that the server P4 long has now is referencing interface name during configuration instead of using the index coming from the data plane. And if you are, I think that you are all familiar with this. So this means that we are in a transition phase where your equipment might run, I would say, the old way to handle interface and sub-interface, for example. And with respect to the new image that you will install. So don't be surprised if there is new, I would say, new developments related to that. There is also one thing, but maybe this does not concern you, is I think that you are calling this safe BGP, Xaba.
Yes, basically it's an RFC that the BGP sessions should not send or receive any prefixes until you configure at least the prefix list inode or root map or root policy, or basically anything that can filter. It's it's an RFC that basically makes the internet maybe a bit safer for the accidental advertisements. I have sent a mail about some weeks ago that you really should write your configs first of all because of the UBGP stanza, and second that because of the P4 length server changes. And the thing is that to fully implement the safe BGP policy, the next step will be that currently it's diffused the previous unsafe manner, but on April Fool's Day, I will revert it to default to the safe BGP. Hopefully for that point, anyone will write their configs with the decision that okay, it's a safe or unsafe way to do the BGP. Afterwards, all the new BGP configs will run with the safe BGP defaulting to it. The thing is that why it is currently in the config is to make this grease period a bit easier. So currently you just have to write, and when I revert the default of this parameter, then basically it will already be in your startup configs. That's the big idea behind it. But after that point, basically you won't have any prefixes in out with the safe BGP enabled. Without that, it will work as before.
Okay, so any question from the audience related to this safe eBGP command? Is it pretty much like the same as in iOS XR, where you had to pass in out, pass out all before trying to do anything?
Basically, yes, it's the same thing.
Okay, thank you for this precision. So I see that Rodrigo joined us. Maybe he would like to share something with us.
Hello. No, I don't have any news. I just installed the UR1 simulator, but I haven't got time to test it, so I will do as soon as possible. I'm sorry for this, but I have like a hard deadline this Friday, so I have to prioritize this task.
Sure, no problem, no problem. So let me share real quick my screen. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Yep.
So so this is the so I just follow the Xaba's recommendation, and then you have this no safe eBGP that appear. So so basically this means that I'm not running the default behavior as mentioned by the RFC, and I will have to make it to make sure that I'm not advertising something. I'm not implicitly expecting. Sorry, I'm not expecting to advertise something implicitly. Otherwise, it will not be advertised. It was just for the illustration of the what the Xaba was explaining. So thank you for this precision, Xaba. Christina, maybe you would like to have something to share.
Hi all. We executed some more tests with MPolka. So far, we don't have any doubts. We think we can organize these tests and produce some material as Frederick requested. We just have to get access to the OpenVPN accounts. So with the development from Xaba and these tests, I think we can include both Polka and MPolka in some introductory tutorials for the web page.
Thank you for bringing this topic on the table, Christina. Just for that's cool that you are all here, also Luis and Rodrigo. Basically, what I requested to Carmen and Christina, and maybe also you, if you want, is to write in small pages your own personal experience is in each topic when you were dealing with FreeRtr, for example. Carmen was trying when she first met FreeRtr. She tried to understand how to configure a port and so on. And this was not clear. What was the role of BRF? Why do we have to export the BRF and all this stuff? Unfortunately, from our point of view, this is something that as we are doing this every day or since over the last 5 years, I think, maybe at least Xaba it's even more because he also developed the software. This is something we cannot see and we think that it's obvious and basically it's not. So Carmen proposed to write few notes, few pages on this, and Christina, for example, would write more things more related to how to have a Polka example cookbook, and also how to have a M-Polka cookbook, for example, in few pages. This, for those who are familiar with Juniper or Genus, this will looks like small pages on the docs.freertr.net in a section called Day One or White Paper or Cookbook or Recite. But do you have a preference, by the way, in terms of name of the section, Christina? It can be cookbook, recipe, or what do you, Day One? Day One will be a pure copy of Genus.
I don't know. I think either of them. I think Day One or cookbook. We will try to do the basics on how to use it. Another thing that we were discussing is that we have a lot of implementation from FreeRtr and RARE side. So we think that we now have to invest some time thinking on how to convert this on maybe some paper or for a conference or journal or even a white paper, because I think we are in a position now that we can just think of interesting tests that we could run in the P4 lab and not just in the emulation, and collect some results for the execution of these new features.
Sure, sure. So actually it will be one stone, two birds. I think this is the way we are saying in English, so that you can reuse this material to write official white paper and so on. That's great. Xaba, any preference in terms of names? Like it can be cookbook or recipe or
no preference. No preference from my side.
I mean, what you mean? What do you think is intuitive that would appeal to people? Carmen?
I let you decide.
Maybe recipe.
Recipe. That's great. Like as if it was cooking. So recipe it is. Thank you, Carmen, for your position. And I am now welcoming your research, your recipe now. Okay, so I will open the CodeMD way of creating documentation, and the good news is that as it is based on Markdown, you will just have to almost just do a cut and paste so that your document can be reflected, and then once you think that it will be okay, we can publish it under the recipe section on docs.freertr.net that I will create as soon as I have one article. Is it okay from everyone? Of course, Luis, Rodrigo, Edgar, Everson, feel free to write down any small page that was not so obvious for you. For example, how to, why do I have to, how to populate a P4 long server, or how to activate a specific routing protocol or segment routing. And I know that you are very knowledgeable now, as far as I could see when you share your screen. This was a crazy TMX screen with a lot of routers. So I assume that you are a power user now. But before reaching this state, I guess that you have studied a little bit. So is it okay from you, Everson and Edgar? Oops, maybe you're not here. Anyway.
No. It sounds cool for me, but what is this documentation? I'm sorry if you passed the link, but I didn't see it.
Let me paste it for you.
Thank you. Oh, okay. So is it a wiki, something that we can edit?
No, it's not a wiki. This is a pure static documentation site that is created using MKDocs. I'm not sure if you know this software. It's an open source software to create static HTML files from Markdown. This is quite this is a quite a good framework, because it allows us to do a batch conversion of the test case into relevant and maybe a little bit more appealing themed web page for the router.
So
yes.
we do have an internal wiki in which we have a lot of documentation, and we have a few recipes for how to do some common tasks on FreeRtr, like editing a static binding on a DHCP, or propagating a VLAN, or creating a VLAN, adding a BRF, or routing.
Exactly.
Or nothing. Something. We have a few notes on this, and we can share it with you, so you can put it on the documentation without problem.
Super. If you want, you can access also. We have a CodeEMD. I'm not sure if you are familiar with CodeEMD. It's like a Google Doc, but it's a collective Markdown, like Ethereal, but not Ethereal, Etherpad. Sorry,
yeah.
Etherpad. And then we are writing pages there, and when you are ready, we publish it directly into the MK using MKDocs. So
okay, we'll say it to we'll talk it to the rest of the group. Sure. And we will take this into account and share what we have, because I am right now I am taking a look at the FreeRtr page, and we only have a couple of things, not much thing. So we will grab the notes that we have here and there. And when I have something, I will anonymize it, because we have a lot of IPs, internal IPs, and even public IPs. And I will pass it along. Okay.
Sure, that would be great. By the way, let me share my screen a little bit real quick. Can you see it?
Yeah.
Yes.
So I am connected to to the nmas.eu. I think that Jordi knows this very well, so you can ask him if you need an access. But you have this CodeEMD. Once you have the RARE VPN connected here, of course I don't have it now. I am adding it. Let's wait a little bit. And then I am connected to the RARE VPN. And this is where, for example, I wrote some documentation related to created BGP, activate BGP in a service provider using FreeRtr, you know. So this is the document I have done. And then Xaba validated this documentation. we can connect. We can be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 people working on the same document. Yeah, for example. And when he had validated the document, I simply pushed it into. There is a certificate problem with GitHub. I'm not sure why, but we'll see that later. But here you see there is a IBGP here. So this is the same. So this is the same page. Yeah, it's simply a cut and paste of the page, and the theme was doing everything before. So what I will do here is to create a section called recipe, where you can put your article yes. But first, what we can do is to write down on the markdown session and share it all together, if you're okay. For example, here I have a getting started getting started hello FreeRtr, and this is the same. This is the same article that is actually here. This is the first one here. You see. So once you will get access to this code DMD, you can publish your article, and when you say okay, let's do it. Xaba can have a real quick look on it, and maybe if it is too simple, he doesn't need to look at it. Or I can try also to look at it, and then when you feel ready, we can put it on the website. Sounds great for you?
Yep, great for me. Thing is that, as Rodrigo said, we have a lot of work here. We don't know when we'll be able to prepare everything, and do not feel ashamed to remind me over IRC.
Okay, so what we can do is do not be afraid. Just send us in a raw mail the link to your wiki, or if it is internal, you can just copy and paste, and I will do the article for you. The idea is that I can spot the difficulties that you have, because these difficulties we don't see them simply because as we are really familiar with FreeRtr. These are something that we don't know, and sometimes, for example, we don't use the same feature at the same level. For example, I know that you are using DHCP in specific ways, and you are expecting MAC address allocation to behave in a specific way. For my case, I really just don't care. I just use DHCP, put a static MAC address in order to identify some specific device in my network, and that's pretty much it. So that's why your input is very important, because also it helps us to understand the difficulties you can have, and sometimes we are familiar with a behavior while you are expecting another one. So that's pretty much something. For me, it's really important to have feedback from users. What do you think, Saba? Would you be willing to have a real quick look at their recipe before publication?
Sure, for sure.
Great, great. So Christina, we are seeing your really good sticker, a yellow one. That's great. Sorry, there was some comment here. Yeah. Oh yes, there is a submission for a specific router, and I guess that Xaba, maybe Xaba, can you share? Do you have a picture of your new beast, that new appliance that is really great? I think.
Yes, I will quickly copy paste the link here.
Okay.
I have a question about FreeRtr. Maybe it's a stupid question, I don't know, but is when to use two routers instead of BRF, different BRF?
You mean that so when you have two different VRFs, then obviously you must use two different routing processes within those VRFs. Because the first thing that you need to configure when you initiate a new router process is basically tell them that okay, this router process belongs to that VRF.
Okay.
But there is no limitation that how many different routing processes can you host on any VRF. Basically, as many as you wish, including the BGP, which is which is a bit tricky on the other platforms.
So Xaba, we have a question from Edgar. What is the specification of this appliance?
The specification. It's an i7. Let me type quickly.
So I shared the picture.
Okay. So the specification is basically this memory and the CPU, and all the NICs are Intel NICs, and the two SFPs are SFP plus basically, and that's all.
And this is low cost.
Yeah.
Is there a tutorial for this appliance?
No, nothing yet. Basically, you can follow the regular FreeRtr installation. No any specific thing need to be done. So it's DPDK ready as it arrived from China. And okay, so it's a different thing that what anyone means low cost, but for us it was quite low cost for this stuff. So we went for the two 10G ports and the thing that can do the UDP encapsulation and MPLS we did it. So for these parameters, the price of this box, which is basically 400 euros, is quite low.
Well, correct me if I'm wrong, but this is an affordable, low-cost equipment that is providing the capability to create 10 gig network.
Yes, it is.
Using DPDK.
Yes,
running Polka or M-Polka.
Yes, it can do because DPDK have them both.
So this is a priceless. This is a priceless box. Christina, you should consider to create a network that has 10 gig around a specific region in Brazil. That would be a very good fit.
M-Polka enabled device?
Yes, obviously it is.
It is a Polka enabled that can run Polka, obviously, but the good thing is that the switch is able to run 10 gig connection, which is quite unbeatable considering the price tag. Xaba, were you talking about a wholesale price or it was a retail price?
It was the retail price, so basically we will get some discount if anyone starts to order in big packs.
So assume that Christina wants to create a Polka at home, a Polka network at home with 2 routers. She will have to spend 600 euros.
I don't think that which is the limit for getting the discount, but I think so. Basically, I asked for if they can provide us some 100 boxes because that's our goal here. We wouldn't order one by one or so.
Of course. Okay, so if for any reason you have an idea, we can have a joint order of maybe, for example, 1,000 boxes, and we see what would be the outcome of this quote. That would be interesting.
Yes.
So feel free to if you have some ideas, that would be fun. And note that Luis and Rodrigo, please note that this will become soon a GTP or UPF.
Wait a bit, the data plane part is already here. I mean, so this box is already passing the GTP tests, also the Toshino.
Okay. So only remains the UPF.
Only the control plane parts are missing, I mean, right now. Yeah. And the data plane part is quite fine.
So I think it's really interesting, affordable solution, I guess. That so let's see the future. I'm interested to get one. I will see that.
Do you have an European provider for these appliances? Because not for my home. For my home is too expensive, but here could be interesting.
Basically, the thing I did, I have queried AliExpress if they have something for pfSense through Stangy, and they returned a lot. There are other boxes.
I am just browsing the AliExpress, but buying things in AliExpress for the university is a little bit tricky.
Right here, basically the process was that they asked for my VAT number. I mean, and then they filled in the bill, and finally the local delivery guys, I mean the local delivery company, have did all the taxation and finally got the paper that it's clearly Hungary and ready for Bresel or anything, basically, because I am covered by the USPS.
A quick question, Xaba. I have a doubt related to this box. The RG45 connection, ETS 0, 1, 2, 3, up to all the way to 5, is able to run 1 gig.
Wait a bit. Okay, so basically we got the link for the store, and the thing is that here the price is including some taxes that they automatically calculated. But the thing is that when you order it to the European Union, it basically subtracts about 1/3 of the price from these numbers you see here. I mean, if you saw something for 200, then it will cost 160 or something like this, because they realized that okay, you ordered from the union and they cannot proceed with auto-adding the tax and so on. So basically, it's the full retail price, including all the taxation after you order through the USPS.
Okay, that deserves to be.
So that's how my box listed here with 500, but basically I cost it for me 400.
So you basically took the high-end version.
No, I went for the bare metal. They are the same. They are the same CPUs. I really not cared here for anything.
Well, I meant that you ordered the Core i7.
Yes, the Core i7 for this, but there was a Core 9 version. I mean Core i9 with 4 SFPs. That's the guy right below the my one. Okay, that have an 800 price tag. but for SFP pluses.
Wow, this is really low cost. Let me try to. This is incredible. Okay, so let's see what will be your finding on with this box and what you will manage to do with it. At least the Kifu, I think.
Yes, you will see.
So thank you all for this information. It's really interesting to see how I would say we can couple affordable solution, and I really think that can help make bandwidth more popular all the way to the edge on specific region with not that much budget, I think. Okay, so I think that we have reached almost reached the 1 hour session. Do you have any question or personal question or remark, comments, requirement?
Saba, we can take advantage that Rodrigo is here if you want to ask him anything about the 5G. We can end the what is the FreeRtr audio, and
okay.
then we can take advantage of Rodrigo.
Okay, sounds good. Thanks. So basically, I stuck with my experiments that I built the VM, the recommended Ubuntu 20 VM, and I installed the stuff you recommended, that is the free 5G core repository, and the other and I found another repository that is heavily forking this free 5G core repository, and they are a bit ahead in commits. I mean, about 20 commits ahead and 4 behind. So it's almost the same as the my 5G repository. I cloned that guy and I also built that because they also have a tester with the addition of your UE runcim tester, and I am stuck that basically both could be started. I mean, both core emulations could be started, but the clients basically really cannot connect in. So I see really nothing on my console except that okay, this and this function connected to the core, and this is what the provided run.sh starts. But afterward, when I started the client, I saw nothing, nor in the client, nor in the core, and the client started complaining that no towers around and so on.
Start complaining about what? Sorry.
Started complaining that no towers around. So basically, I think it would accepted some list that the nearby towers that it hears or something like this. And then I taken a Wireshark and and I saw that the client, I mean the recommended UE runcim is trying to send the packet to the UDP 4774, if I recall correctly, but I am a bit unsure here. I've sent it to the chat. And after a quick Googling, I found that basically this UDP port is used for them for some auto discovery of the run. But since it's a different project, obviously the free 5G core is not responding and not listening on this port at all. So that's where I am stuck right now.
Okay, as far as I know, the first interaction between the run and the core is between the run and the AMF, and it's done in the port 38, 40, 17. I think it's that one, but if not, that one is closed. So the first message that's sent is over STTP, not over UDP. So maybe, I don't know if you have to install some kind of module.
Yes. I found it that I need SCCP, so I installed development modules because the unit runtime is simply didn't compile without adding the HTTP dev package. So it's already there.
Okay, but you have seen this interaction between the run and the AMIF? It's a packet called ng setup request.
To be honest, so the client, I mean the unit runtime is only sent this 4997 port, and I didn't capture that what the free 5G core does internally. I just checked that the config files and that are mentioning some ports, they are binded, so I saw them binded in the Linux socket table. But I didn't capture that what it did simply because no errors were shown on the console when I run .sh the core part.
Okay, but if you run the core directly on the console, it start like the login.
Yes, so yes, exactly. We talked about two full screens, and I saw all the components mentioned in the wiki page that need to be started. Most of them, I mean, all of them are logged something to the console, and all was green and no errors at all. So I didn't dig too deeper into these logs. Then I simply tried to start the client, and this is where this is what didn't work.
Okay, the one thing, I mean, that problem is of course about the G-Node B, but also I have to check because when you configure the G-Node B, there is the slice identificator. Then that if the AMIF doesn't support that slice identificator, it won't set up the connection. So I have to check the default setup file for the simulator and check that this identificator. That's the only thing that I can say right now.
Okay, thanks. If you could check and could suggest what I should do.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you. So, any more questions, comments?
Not from my part.
Christina, no, that's great. If you're okay, Christina, what we can do, or I mean, also with everyone, we can have a separate VC for showing you, and in order to show you how to create this small documentation when you will be ready.
Okay, great. As soon as we get the access, we can try and schedule a meeting.
Yeah, sure. I don't think this is of interest during this session because it's not related to FreeRtr directly. I mean, this is documentation for FreeRtr, but I'd rather spend 1 hour talking about FreeRtr intrinsic features and problems. But what we can do is that if the method is satisfying, what we can do is start to work together also on the draft of Polka, or maybe now also Polka using this method. Sounds okay for you?
Yes, good idea.
Cool. So thank you all then, and have a good, I would say, beginning of the day for you in Brazil, and of the day, end of the day for everyone else. Thanks. Bye. Thank you, Luis.
Bye. Thanks. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.